I was a little surprised when I came to Berkeley. Maybe I shouldn't have been so surprised because the philosophy of education at that time was so varied, mostly SynCom, and the elementary school was oral. A number of teachers in elementary couldn't sign. Yes, it's interesting. In Berkeley's early years, they used sign language. And after Milan, things began to change. The school became orally influenced, especially for the younger students. The high school students could always use sign language, but it was not permitted for the younger children. Of course, if the students were residential, they saw the older kids signing, they could learn themselves, but it was not permitted in the classroom. Then in the 1980s, there was an article written called Unlocking the Curriculum. I read that article and I thought, that's right.
When Unlocking the Curriculum was published, all of a sudden we had something. We had a central document to refer to. Prior to that, we had nothing for bilingual, bicultural education. You had the odd article showing up, but you didn't have a central document or manifesto, as it were. And now all of a sudden we had something to refer to. When Dr. Klopping saw this, he knew that it was something. It was a point to open discussions on.
Deaf kids learn mostly, well, any kid learns mostly outside of the classroom, not inside the classroom itself. But to get that information, you have to have communication.
In Unlocking the Curriculum, the main point is that the curriculum, the content, everything we want the children to learn is not accessible. We have the curriculum, but it's locked to these deaf children. They don't have the language, and language is the key to unlocking the curriculum, to opening it up, to providing a pathway for these children to learn. And that's the point. It's such a basic, simple point in unlocking the curriculum. Just make the curriculum, the content, the world accessible to these children. Simple.
So that started me thinking. And then the bicultural bilingual situation came up. I remember very well. It was Sunday night, and I got a call from D. Kennedy asking me to come over to a meeting. It was in middle school, and meet some people were here who were in town for a convention. During the discussion, we decided to hire two people half-time, Lon and Ed Basso.
When we were tasked with developing the bilingual bicultural curriculum, we weren't sure what to do and how to go about it. So we wanted to get a lot of people involved and open up discussions, see what people wanted for the school, wanted for the children, for their future, what their visions of this could be. So we asked around.
I thought at first it would take 1 year. Little did I realize that 1 year wasn't enough time. And I learned, sure enough, that it would take several years to arrive at where we wanted to go. Why? We wanted to build a consensus. We were in the process of changing from one way of instruction to another way of instruction. And so in 1991 was really when we started moving ahead with bilingual and bicultural education.
So we broke the task up into its constituent parts, and finally a theme evolved. And we started to write on that, and we came up with different parts which we started to consolidate into a rough draft document. We printed that, distributed it, and 2 years later, into the process, we had a product, a document, a statement of mission and values.
ASL English. As you know, over the years, we've been making this slow transition, and now we have AEB PD to help guide us in this process, and I think we're making good strides.
So I've really seen a change in awareness, a change in the mindset that's out there. It's not what people thought it was, or the things about bilingual, bicultural education really excite people. They say, that's what it is, great.
I would put this school up against any school for the deaf in the world when it comes to bilingual, bicultural education. We are committed to ASL and English, and our students' results show that what we believe in is correct.